He fought zombies in Shaun of the Dead, solved crime in Hot Fuzz, and recently went intergalactic in Star Trek. But despite having come a long way from his geek roots in space, my guest today is far more grounded than the Starship Enterprise. So hello and welcome to the guest list, where today I'm meeting a man who gave us the world's first ever rom-com and is now working alongside Steven Spielberg. In between, he's managed to fit in two of the biggest blockbusters in the last couple of years. So on we go. I better get him a cornetto. Today, the guest list is delighted to present a homegrown actor who began life as a stand-up comedian from Gloucester. He's since lost friends and alienated people, but only for a movie, as in real life, I've got it on good authority, he's one of the nicest men on the planet. So I'm very excited. He's joining me on the guest list. Simon Pegg, hello and welcome to the guest list. How are you?
Very nice, thank you. I'm very nice.
You are very nice.
I meant very good, but it's nice to be here.
Good. It is great to have you here. So where are you spending most of your time at the moment? Because we're here in London right now, but you obviously work a lot in LA as well.
I was there for a lot of last year, and then I came back in autumn, and I've been here because we've shot Burke and Hare here in the UK, and I'm back out again in a month or two, so sort of flitting around, really.
How are you finding it? Do you like LA?
I love it, yeah, I love it. I stay in Santa Monica, which is a little bit out of the industry area, and you can walk around there a bit, and it's very communal, and it's sunny, and it's all that kind of like LA cynicism that some people have, I don't have.
Although when I saw you last, it was in LA for Ice Age 3.
That's right, yeah.
Which is quite odd. But you bought a copy of Heat magazine. Do you have to do things like that to sort of go a bit of home?
Funnily enough, there's a shop in Santa Monica called, next to the King's Head pub, which is a British pub, kind of, what American version of a British pub. And you can buy like loads of British food and magazines and things like that. So occasionally you will pick up something you wouldn't necessarily, or we wouldn't buy it when you're here, but you just buy it there to make you feel like home.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
I've done the same.
Yeah.
Burke and Hare you just mentioned. What can you tell us about this? If someone doesn't know anything, then just say Burke and Hare. What's it about? It's
a hilarious romantic comedy about murderers. Is the best way to describe it. It's based on a true story about these two guys who, in the Westport ghetto in Edinburgh in like 1828, realised they were onto a really good thing, selling dead bodies to the medical profession because they could get good money for them. So they killed 17 people. But the film is very much a comedy about the two guys as if they're almost like a sort of evil Laurel and Hardy.
We've got no money to speak of, no plan. We just have to work out what the demand is for and then supply it. Within every cloud, there's a silver lining.
Working with John Landis.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. You're working with the director that gave us things like Animal House and Trading Place and the Blues Brothers, one of my all-time favourite films. What was that experience like?
It was really fun, and part of the reason I did the film was because of John, you know, and he's a hero of mine, and American Wealth in London particularly was a huge influence on Shaun of the Dead when we were writing that in terms of the combination of humour and horror.
Cut! Brilliant!
As well as this, Burke and Hare, obviously Star Trek just exploded into this fantastic film. It must be great to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Is there anything at this stage you can tell us about the sequel?
Only that I saw Damon Lindelof, who's one of the writers, he was coming through London a couple of weeks ago and was literally about to start writing. So, because I obviously asked him loads of questions straight away, and he's very excited, you know. And I think they're very much into continuing developing the relationship with the characters and stuff.
Nice timing, Scotty. I've never beaten 3 people from 2 targets onto 1 pad before.
You know, they still only just met. It's the beginning of the journey still. I'm sure there'll be more getting to know each other, you know.
That was pretty good.
Now, very kindly, Mr. Simon Pegg, you've picked 4 movies for us today, 4 movies that you love, that you think other people, if they have not seen, may love as well.
Absolutely.
So, if I might start with the first one, and it's from 1987.
Yes.
RoboCop.
Yes.
It is my great pleasure to present to you RoboCop.
20 seconds to comply. 20 seconds to comply.
Your move, creep.
RoboCop is an excellent film in that it's this sort of brutal science fiction comedy thriller almost. Or I wouldn't ever call it a comedy, it's more of an action film, but it has a great strain of humour.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.
I'll buy that for $1.
It's a great satire, and it has some fantastic lines, some amazing performances. The actors commit to it so wholeheartedly. There's no winking at the camera at all. They all go for it. They really do, particularly Peter Weller, who has that wonderful sort of austere dignity as Murphy.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
It has that, one of the last great stop-motion creatures as well in Ed 209. You know, in just before it became CG.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
I saw it when I was too young. My mum had seen Terminator and thought I could watch Terminator, and mistakenly got out RoboCop.
Oh dear.
So I ended up watching it, and that scene where Ed 209 malfunctions was just a terrifying experience.
It's horrific. That sequence is particularly brilliant.
I am now authorized to use physical force.
Is it Miguel Ferrer?
Weirdly enough, George Clooney's cousin, I found out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's brilliantly sleazy. He's a great villain in that film.
What are your prime directives?
He creates RoboCop, and in the end, you sort of going, so he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And then he's not, because he's just out for himself.
He's just
really.
another corporate monster.
Huh? Huh?
There's just so many great moments in that movie, and its tongue does often poke into its cheek, but just the right sort of level of self-satire. With the script, the direction, the effects, it's all really on the mark and a really entertaining film. I think we've sold it.
Yeah, I think so too. And to date, one of the best movie taglines ever. Part man, part machine.
Yeah, all cop.
Robo, excuse me, Robo. Any special message for all the kids watching at home?
Stay out of trouble.
Well, that's RoboCop. Good. Love that film. Next up, more recently than RoboCop, this is from 2009, and it's Adventureland.
Yes.
By accepting this T-shirt, you are
Hired.
So why have you picked this for the list?
I'm slightly biased on this one because the director, Greg Mottola, just directed mine and Nick's film, Paul. But I just think it's a really, really sweet, clever comedy. I think it was marketed slightly wrong. I think in the wake of Superbad, which was Greg's previous film, the film companies wanted to sort of like, you know, push it as like a teen comedy in that vein, and it's not. It's actually a very gentle, very well-observed period piece set in 1987, I think, the year RoboCop came out, about a kid working at a fairground and falling in love, and you know this heady summer that he has.
A party at my house tonight. My dad's out of town.
I'm invited.
Yep. That's why I'm telling you. Carl?
You kiddies have fun.
And it's just really beautifully pitched and brilliant performances all round. Particularly Jesse Eisenberg, who's great in the film.
Is anybody else coming in here? It's just us.
And the girl that plays Lisa P, who's this sort of like the girl that everyone fancies.
That's Lisa P.
She is fantastic as well.
Yeah.
And Kristen Stewart as well, who's always good.
Hey, I made you a tape. These are my favorite bummer songs. They're truly miserable, pit of despair type songs. I think you'll love it.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, you want to get a drink or something?
Sure.
I think it's important to have good direction when you have comedy. It's not always just a question of pointing the camera at funny people. A lot of comedies these days are just that. And I think Greg's a really sensitive director. I think that's really demonstrated in Adventureland, and I think more people should see it. Not enough people did.
Good night, Adventureland.
I couldn't sit here with you, Simon Pegg, mention Jesse Eisenberg, and then not talk about his other Land film, which is, of course, Zombieland. Yeah, I mean, you can't keep zombies down, both literally and figuratively.
I know. Zombieland was really fun. I enjoyed it. I'm not a huge fan of fast zombies, so I can't quite always get on board with that, but it was certainly really entertaining, and you know, there's room for all kind of types of monsters.
I think we've had this debate before because
because you were in Dawn of the Dead.
I missed a cameo in your film,
right,
Shaun of the Dead, because I was in Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's right.
As a fast zombie.
As a fast zombie. You know, this is a weird thing. I got quoted in a film, the Bobcat Goldthwait movie called World's Greatest Dad, and in it, Robin Williams' character is talking to someone about zombies and says in the film, Simon Pegg said, and then quotes from this article I wrote about zombies, and it's that death is a disability, not an energy drink or something. So to quote Robin Williams quoting me, that's why I don't like fast zombies.
Right, that is it for part 1 of the guest list, but join me again in part 2 when we're going to be talking through some more of the favourite films of Mr. Simon Pegg. See you in a moment.